מתל אביב. ערב טוב מתל אביב. Welcome to experiment number 8, part 5 of the one field. ברוכים הבאים לניסוי מספר 8, חלק 5 של השדה האחד. אנחנו כאן בערב מאוד מאוד מיוחד, איתכם כאן ביחד, עומדים לחקור יחד את התודעה שלנו ואת הכוונה שלנו. תודה שאתם איתנו היום. אלו לא ימים פשוטים כאן במזרח התיכון. Thank you for being with us today. These are not easy days here in the Middle East. I'm מיכל מילגרומור and I'm your host for this evening. הניסוי הזה ישודר בפייסבוק, ביוטיוב ובזום. כמו כן ניתן להאזין לתרגום בערבית על ידי לחיצה על לחצן התרגום בתוכנה או באפליקציה בזום. להאזנה בשפה הערבית. This experiment will be broadcast on Facebook, YouTube and Zoom. For Arabic translation, please use the language button at the right corner on Zoom software or app. לאחר הניסוי, ההקלטה תעלה ליוטיוב כך שניתן יהיה לקבל תרגום לכל שפה. After the experiment, the recording will be uploaded to YouTube and a translation to multiple languages will be available. הניסוי הזה הוא החמישי בסדרת הניסויים שלנו שהתחילה ב-21 ביוני. אנחנו נפגשים באופן קבוע בכל 21 לחודש. This experiment is the fifth in our series of experiments that started on June 21st. We meet regularly every 21st of the month. הכוונה היא אותה כוונה, אבל הפעם הסימן שאלה הרבה יותר משמעותי. האם עכשיו, בזמן המלחמה, האם אנחנו באמת יכולים להאיר את לב האנושות ולהעלות את הרטט של השדה הגלובלי? The intention is always the same, but this time the question mark is much more significant. Can we now, during time of war, can we really awaken the art of humanity and raise the vibration of the global field? וכמו תמיד, נתחיל עם מוזיקה של היוצר של המלחין רוברט קוקסון. As always, we will begin with music. רוברט, האם אתה יכול להציג את עצמך ולספר לנו מה אתה הפעם הולך לנגן? Hello, רוברט.
Hello.
Can you please introduce yourself and tell us what you are going to play today, this evening?
Yes, hi, I'm Robert Coxon, and I'm really happy to be here. I feel privileged to be here and to do my part. I'm the composer of the music for the movie The One Field, and what I thought I would play a very short version today of a piece called Coming Home from an album Prelude to Infinity. And why would we be playing this today? Because the music helps us to come home within us to that place where we realize who we really are, that sacred self that is actually pure love. And this is what we have to do, get connected with that pure love and become that pure love, so we're the radiation of the pure love. And that affects the whole world, as we know. So close your eyes if you want, or watch. But would you like to translate everything I said? I'm sorry. Okay.
Thank you, Robert. That was tears in my eyes. Thank you so much. תודה רבה לך. Thank you.
You're so
We will
welcome.
meet you later on. We will have you again. גרג בריידן לא יכול היה להשתתף באירוע שלנו, אבל היה לו חשוב לשלוח את המסר שיכין אותנו לניסוי. Greg Braden could not attend our event, but it was important to him to send us the message that will prepare us for the experiment here.
Hello, friends. Greg Braden here. And just like you, I am struggling to make sense of what we have witnessed as a collective global family, what we've seen happen. When we see something like this happen in the world, there are layers upon layers of conversation that we may have. And all those conversations are important. They need to be held from a place of love and unity. There are political conversations, certainly, that are unfolding right now. But what I want to talk to you about is something even deeper. It is on the spiritual level that we are asked to make sense of what is happening in our lives and in our world right now. How do we make sense of what our nervous system has been exposed to, what our eyes have seen, and what our hearts have felt? What do we do with those things in our lives? The question that each one of us must ask, and everyone on the face of the earth will be challenged with this question, is simply this: what do we become in the presence of the atrocities that we have seen in our world? What do we allow those events to do to us? Do we become the anger and the hate and the rage that has led to the atrocities to begin with? Do we become the very darkness that we seek to eliminate on the planet? Or do we allow those horrors, they've happened, we can't undo them, do we allow them to now become something deeper in the fabric of our being that compels us to find something within ourselves that will transcend, not just meet, but become more than, become greater than, to transcend the hurt and the suffering that we've just seen? Many of you know, in the 1990s, I was privileged to lead groups into the highlands of central China and Tibet over a period of 26 days, almost 18,000 feet above sea level, where we would visit 12 monasteries and 2 nunneries and spend time with the monks and the nuns, not only to learn their history and their customs, but to experience their wisdom as well. And it was in a conversation that I was having with the abbot of one of the monasteries through a translator, because my Tibetan is really bad, that we had this very conversation. And what the abbot said to me on that day, I'm going to share with you right now, because I think it applies to everything that we're living right now. And what he said is simply this. He said, the depth of the suffering that we experience in our lives compels us to find a level of love that is even deeper than the suffering, so that we can transcend the hurt. Now, when I heard that, immediately I had a vision. I'm a very visual person in my mind. We are vessels, and we've always been told that we are human vessels for love, compassion, forgiveness. So if we think of our vessel of love, and something happens in our lives, a great loss that invades this love, then we have to go deeper than that loss so that we can begin to encompass it in its entirety, from the bottom up, go deeper than the suffering, deeper than the hurt, deeper than the loss. And we do that. We typically do that. For many people, it's called the dark night of the soul. And we do that once and we say, okay, well, I've learned about love. Now I'm a loving, compassionate, forgiving being. But then the universe brings to our doorstep another hurt, another loss, a deeper level of suffering, even more than we've experienced in the past. And it comes deeper into our being. And this is where the visual helps. And because we've got to go deeper below that, look deeply within ourselves, we are compelled to find a level of love that transcends and embraces that level of suffering. Now, it is not an excuse for what happens in the world, doesn't condone any of the events that happen in the world, but on this spiritual journey of evolution, this is something that is happening for each of us. And we have a choice. Do we allow the events of our lives to turn us into angry, bitter, hurt, and hateful people that succumb to the very darkness that we hope to transcend? Or do we find a love within ourselves that allows us to respond in ways that are based in the love for what we know is possible rather than the fear of what happens or the hate for what happens if we don't? This is a powerful difference on a spiritual level. It may not change much in the physical world that we're seeing around us. We are spiritual beings. This is a spiritual battle between light and dark. How do we win this battle? We win it by becoming the best version of ourselves, by accessing our divinity. Divinity is defined as the ability to transcend perceived human limits. That's all. Our ability to become more than the limits that we placed upon ourselves. When we embrace our divinity, it gives us the ability to love on levels that we've never imagined in the past. This is where peace begins. Peace is more than the absence of conflict. It's more than the absence of war. Peace begins with us embracing our divinity, the part of us that is timeless, ageless, our imagination, our creativity, our love, our forgiveness, these uniquely human capacities that we are striving to know ourselves in the presence of and in this world. The way we win this battle is by becoming the best version of ourselves, not succumbing to the darkness and the hate and the fear, rather celebrating our humanness and what we know is possible from the love in our hearts of how we come together to build the world out there that we know is possible in our hearts in here. When we come together in coherence, what the science shows is that our heart-based coherence actually feeds that field that nurtures and protects our divinity. And that's why we come together to do what we do today. I want to thank each one of you for doing all you can do to live the best version of yourself, of your life, and for all that you're doing to create the best world possible. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Greg, for this message. This is so, so true. Let's keep on the consciousness of love in the Middle East. ועכשיו נעבור אלייך, אנט. האם תוכלי להציג את עצמך ולספר לנו על העבודה והתפקיד שלך במכון HeartMath? And now we will move on to you, Annette. Can you introduce yourself, please, and tell us about your role and work in HeartMath Institute? Hello, Annette.
Hello, Tsipi. Thank you so much for the introduction. And it's hard to do any better than Greg Braden with his beautiful words when it comes to raising human consciousness. So today I also want to talk about awakening the heart of humanity, raising human consciousness, and the vibrational frequency of the global field, especially focusing on adding peace to the global field in the face of what is going on. So my connection to HeartMath started about 15 years ago when I was still working as an earth scientist, mainly in marine geochemistry, in earthquake zones offshore, where like oceanic and the continental plates meet, and where like very violent earthquakes can happen and tsunamis. Like, for example, in Fukushima 2011 is a good example. And while I was very successful in my career, my heart was longing for something more meaningful. I deeply felt in my heart that there was more to this world than scientific data points in physics, chemistry, whatever other, scientific discipline is out there. I just felt like there is more to this world. We're deeper interconnected. And so when I was searching for deeper meaning in my career and my life, I found HeartMath. And when I was found HeartMath, I saw that they just started about 15 years ago, the Global Coherence Initiative. And so I just sent a resume and a cover letter to HeartMath saying, I'm an earth scientist. I deeply resonate with the work you're doing. I would love to work for you. And while there weren't any job openings, I was invited and hired to work as research coordinator in the research department of HeartMath. And I started working for the Global Coherence Initiative. You can see the website on this slide. It is, work, the science of interconnectivity is part of the work, and many, many other publications have been published in the last 10, 15 years. A lot dealing with the interconnectedness of human health and behavior, and how human health and behavior is affected, for example, by solar cycles, and even to the point of human unrest, revolutions, and wars can be linked to solar cycles. Also, periods of creativity can be linked to solar cycles. So it's really, really important to come to this place of inner peace and connect to our divinity, like Greg Braden mentioned, instead of being carried away into violence. So we always have the choice. So I want to show a little Global Coherence Initiative video.
At the HeartMath Institute Research Center, we have spent decades unraveling the innate intelligence of the heart and the potential of its core qualities like compassion and care to affect real change on an individual and collective level. Our global interconnectivity research is illuminating just how important a role we can all play in uplifting and unifying the collective global field environment, which is essential now more than ever. Through the support of our donors, the HeartMath Institute is now working to expand the Global Consciousness Project, a collaborative effort between HMI lead scientists and citizen scientists. Originally started out of Princeton University by Roger Nelson, the GCP's global network of random number generators has shown convincing evidence that human consciousness, especially emotions of love and compassion, does in fact modulate the global field. We hope that expanding on these findings will inspire and encourage more people around the world to benefit from increasing their own heart-based practices, a most positive step forward in raising the collective global consciousness. HMI scientists are also focused on exploring our connection with nature, and especially with trees. In a groundbreaking global endeavor funded by donors like you, the HMI Research Center is now receiving data from our new tree sensors, designed and built by our team of researchers and installed around the world by a network of citizen scientists. While we're still in beta testing mode, we are eager to advance our understanding of the unseen energy of trees that humans have intuitively felt connected to for millennia. When we come together in heart-centered collaboration, we really can actualize a world in which humankind can thrive, not just survive. A world where stress and separation fade into compassion and deeper care for one another. If you would like to be part of furthering this exciting research, please donate at heartmath.org/give/research.
So as already mentioned in the video, one of the projects also studying interconnectivity is our brand new tree research project. It's a citizen science project, which means that anyone who's interested can apply to participate in this project. And I personally, along with a colleague, have interviewed close to 100 people who are already participating in this treerhythms.net tree research project. And it's an endeavor to measure signals, electrical signals of trees around the globe. And we, of course, hope to see if there is also plant intelligence and if this global tree network can actually pick up human consciousness, as in, for example, of what's going on with this current conflict. Does the global tree network pick up such signals? We know that the trees pick up signals such as when it rains, we see spikes, or we can see if it's winter or summer that the tree might be more dormant depending on the temperature. So there's a lot of very new, innovative research. There's never been a project like this before. And furthermore, already mentioned in the video as well, there is a global consciousness project. And you can see like a spinning globe, and currently we have 142, 143 random number generators that are part of this project. And we are still also accepting applications for citizen scientists who would like to participate. I will not say much more about this project since my colleague Nakum Planka will be presenting next month, and he's deeply involved in this project. But those random number generators are used to measure global consciousness, and we are using those to measure the impact of our field experiment. So now I'd like to play a video on how to use the Global Coherence app. We want to use the Global Coherence app from HeartMath in order to also see how many people are online, what our coherence scores are, and to also be able to measure the impact of our intentions and meditations together. So I'll be playing it now.
So the Global Coherence app is basically, it's a meditation app, but it's also a biofeedback app. So it's measuring through your heart rate variability. It's measuring your individual coherence, and it's also measuring the group's collective coherence. So it's measuring all of our coherence together and assigning a kind of a level of coherence to that, an average level for the group as a whole. So in terms of the app and what it's doing, if you've got yours handy there, what I'd like you to do is to open the app, and you'll see this screen here. And if you just kind of swipe along a little bit, you'll see that it says Global Coherence Experiment number 2, one field. And so what I'd like you to do, please, is to tap on that. And then you'll see the description there of the experiment pop up, sponsored by the one field, as you can see. And so then what I'd like you to do is just to tap join. Now, when you then tap to join, you'll see this screen pop up, and it'll ask you to select a sensor. Now, maybe one or two of you have got an actual dedicated HeartMath sensor. If you do, then you know whether it's wired or Bluetooth, but most of you will be using the camera sensor. Very clever, this app, because it can use your phone's own camera to give you biofeedback on your heart rhythms, your level of coherence. So tap on the relevant one, which most of you will be camera, of course. And then this screen will pop up, and then you just need to tap join session. Okay. Now, you need to have your finger over the camera on your phone. Now, if you've got one or more cameras, two or more cameras, sorry, it needs to be the top one. Okay, so what you're doing is you're placing your finger over the camera lens, you're holding your hand steady, and you're applying light pressure. Don't push too hard. If you push too hard, it squeezes the blood out of the capillaries in your finger. And so we want just nice light pressure. And what will happen is your flash will come on your phone and it will stay on. That's basically shining light into your finger. And what we're doing is we're picking up the blood density in the capillaries of the finger. And that's a proxy for your heartbeat. So we can work out very accurately your heartbeat through the blood in the capillaries in your finger. Pretty clever, huh? And then let me just start this little video here. What you'll see then, so you'll have seen hopefully a red window pop up. That red is basically your fingertip. It's the light shining through your fingertip. And then what you'll see is your heart rhythm is being calculated. It might take a little while to calibrate depending on how effectively your phone is getting the signal. And then what it's doing is it's gathering data and it's calculating your level of coherence. So it's basically measuring your heart's rhythm and calculating how coherent that is. Okay. And so then what you're beginning to see in this waveform as it appears here, this is the heart's rhythm. Okay, so in this example, this is the heart's rhythm speeding up, slowing down, speeding up, slowing down. You can see already it's going into a lovely coherent pattern, a sinusoidal waveform with these repeating oscillations, which are in effect vibrations. Then you can tap that little heart thing to get that message out of the way that just disappeared. Slide your screen up a bit, and then you can see your level of coherence is presented, and then the global level of coherence is presented. And you can also toggle here between your individual and then the global level of coherence to see what's happening to that coherence over time, basically. So you can see it tends to wander around a bit. You could have also tapped the thing that says map in the top right hand corner, and that will show a live map of everyone who's logged into the app right now. So you could see me there in London, zooming in and out basically. And so yeah, we're going to use this app now, continue to use this as we go into the meditation. And then what we'll do, hopefully at the end, is to have a little look and see what happened. And we'll also be collecting all of this data for the experiment. Okay, just maybe skip that survey thing. We'll do that later. Don't worry about it for now. Okay.
Well, I hope you're all ready now to use your apps. And we will get started in our guided heart meditation. If you like, you can close your eyes and slow down your breathing. Place your hands on the area of your heart, if that helps you, or one hand. And imagine your breath going through the area of your heart. Breathe a little slower than you normally would. And let's begin by connecting in the heart with everyone participating in this field experiment today. Center in your heart and breathe in the feeling of love, appreciation, and peace to increase your heart coherence. Now see that people around the world share your intention for peace. Be the peace you want to see in this world. Imagine to breathe peace in and out of your heart with all the others who share this intention. For a while, let's experience collective field of peace radiating and broadcasting from our hearts. Now let's connect our hearts with the billions of people on our beautiful planet Earth who all want to live in peace. See humanity awakening to the need of deeper compassion, care, and cooperation with each other. Feel the interconnectedness of all of humanity with similar emotions and needs for safety, kindness, compassion, love, and peace. Being in our hearts strengthens our ability to forgive. It gives us hope and true heart connections. So we can live in a benevolent world we can all thrive in. So today, let's connect and radiate collective compassion to all sources of global conflict, tensions and war, and any other suffering caused by natural disasters to humanity and all life forms on Earth. Can spend more time radiating peace and compassion to specific situations that are more personal to you. Feel yourself immersed in this love and peace. Take a few more deep breaths, sending peace out into the world. And continue to hold the peace and love in your heart. See the peace overflowing to all in need. As we close, may this field of compassion and peace help us in creating a true and lasting culture of peace on our planet. The more you are at peace in your hearts, the more the world is at peace. Allow yourself to slowly come back. And whenever you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes with a smile on your face.
Wow. Thank you so much, Annette. That was very, very important and very, very peaceful. I feel so peaceful now. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for joining me here today in this field experiment. And please remember that even if it is challenging in the times of conflict, to get in a peaceful place in your hearts, spend some time in heart coherence, and know that you're feeding the field this energy and that any little bit matters.
Really matters. Thank you so much for this evening and for this meditation. Thank you so much. And thanks to Robert about this beautiful music that we recognize it from the film of The One Field. Thank you so much. That was beautiful too. And
You're so
thank
welcome.
you. Thanks. And thank you, Rebecca, on the translation to Arabic. תודה לאנט ותודה לרוברט קוקסון ותודה לרבקה על התרגום לערבית. תודה לכולכם שהשתתפתם ותרמתם בימים הכל כך מיוחדים האלה את כוונת הלב שלכם. בואו תשתפו את האירוע כמה שיותר, כך שנגדיל את ההשפעה הטובה. Thank you all for participating and sharing your heart intention. We encourage you to share the event as much as possible so we can increase the positive impact, especially on those days. תודה לחגית ויניר שביט על החסות. Thank you, חגית and יניר שביט for sponsoring our event. לצוות השדה האחד, לאנה על התמיכה מאחורי הקלעים, לאיתמר והצוות על השידור. I would like also to thank the One Field team, to Anna for the support behind the scenes, and Itamar and his team for the broadcast, and of course to Tsipiraz, that everything started because of her. We will meet here exactly on November 21st. אנחנו ניפגש כאן בדיוק בעוד חודש, ב-21 בנובמבר. תודה לך ציפי על החזון, על העשייה. תודה לכם שאתם כאן. שיהיה לכולם לילה רגוע ושקט. Goodbye and good evening from Tel Aviv. See you next month.